Welcome to Poker Hospital. I am Julia, the Queen of Palmdale, and also the administrator of this lovely mental health facility located deep in the desert of Southern California. This is where poker players come when poker gets through with them, and let's see how those injuries actually occur. Today, we have a special Los Angeles edition. Southern California poker is truly the best in the world, and I'm going to prove it to you now. Local players Armenian Matt, Pipi, and David send multiple players to the poker hospital during this 50, 100, 100 high-stakes game that's streamed on Live at the Commerce. Like and subscribe. We have a lot more of these crazy LA hands to come. Here, Pipi opens the 10-8 off for $300, and Armenian Matt 3-bets the 8-4 off to $1,400 because that's the bounty hand in this game. Oh no, wait, that's not the bounty hand. They are playing the 7-deuce and the 8-3 bounty game. 8-4 is just what Matt decided to 3-bet with. Pipi expertly calls the 3-bet, and they see a flop of Queen 9-6 Rainbow, which is a double gutter for Pipi and a complete whiff for Matt. So Matt bets $2,200 into the pot of $3,200, about 70%, and Pipi calls. Turn is a Rainbow King, which is a brick to Pipi and a great bluff card for Matt. Matt bets $6,600 into $7,400, about 90% of the pot. Now, against Matt's value range, Pipi should have maybe 8 outs for an equity of about 16%. And he really only hopes to get paid if he makes the low straight with a 7. If a jack comes, Matt is very unlikely to put any more money in this pot. Pipi is not even doing great against Matt's bluffing range, which might be ace-jack, deuces through 8s except for 6-6, and of course, 7-deuce and 8-3. However, as you can see, Pipi has 97% equity against Matt's actual hand. And maybe Pipi just senses that because he calls again. Or maybe it's just that in LA, we see all our draws to the river. The river is a deuce. The pot is $20,600, and Pipi has the effective stack of $29,000. Action is on Matt. Can he pull the trigger on one last barrel? Would Pipi fold a queen here? Hell no. Would he fold 10-9, 10-10? No? Well, Matt has 8 high, so he has to try. He bets $12K into $20,600, and he is up against maybe the one hand that his 3-bet, bet line will work on. But then Pipi rebluffs. He has 10 high, so he has to try. Matt mucks, and Pipi shows the bluff. The table loves it, and Matt is incredulous.
I think you are oh my God! Leave me alone! God damn it!
Here are 2 hands played by David, who is the Goliath here. In this hand, Mike opens to $300 with King 10 suited, and David calls with 4-4 on the button, and Yovaro calls in the big blind with 7-5 off. There's $1,050 in the pot, and the flop is 6-5-8 Rainbow, giving Johan bottom pair and an open-ended. He checks. Mike also checks his 2 overcards that don't hit the board. David, with an underpair and a gut shot straight draw, bets $500, about a third pot. Johan calls, and Mike folds. Pot is $2,050, and turn is a 5, pairing the middle card and giving Johan trip 5s. He leads out, which the kids these days sometimes do when they are the caller and the second card pairs. You'd think David would be done with this hand, especially given that Johan bet full pot, but you'd be wrong. David calls. River is a miracle 4. Johan bets $2,300, about 1/3 pot, and David raises to $8K. Johan snap calls with his trips and sees the bad news. Full house for David. David gives us an insight into his strategy.
I'm glad the 4 came because I was going to raise no matter what.
A little later, it's David and Johan again. The $200 straddle is on, and Yovaro opens to $600 with ace-king off. Mike 3-bets with the hand all the GTO kids love to 3-bet, ace-5 suited, to $1,800. David, who is the straddle, naturally calls the $1,800 with king-9 suited. That's what they call a hood flat, viewers. And when there's a hood flat involved, somebody is very likely going to end up in poker hospital. Action is back on Johan, who 4-bets to $6,600 with his ace-king. Mike, who is not a Los Angeles player, he folds the ace-5 suited because this is a bluff hand that the solver tells the kids to 3-bet and then fold to a 4-bet. David has apparently consulted a different solver because instead of folding his king-9 suited to the 4-bet, he hood flats again. The pot is $15,250 and the flop is 10-8 deuce rainbow. Neither player hits this flop. David checks and Johan bets $5,100, about 1/3 pot. David sees more than we see. Here in this plum cardigan of his, he has 3 to a straight and 3 to a flush. So he calls. Turn is a 4. Pot is $25,450, and it goes check, check. River is a 3, and David leads out with $5,000, about 20% of the pot. Johan takes a lot of time to analyze his options. He is only beating bluffs. But it was a 4-bet pot, and David called with something on the flop, or so Johan thinks. Johan lets it go, and David shows the bluff, and Joviral tries to make sense of it all. And David sums up his strategy for us.
Very good. Good up by my own hand. Do you have at least a flush draw? Nope.
I called the flop to bluff the river.
Next, it's Armenian Matt versus Joviral in this hand, aka LA versus Malta. They are the last two in the nit game, and they get heads up. In the nit game, the last player to win a hand must pay $300 to every other player. So players want to win a hand and get a nit button as quickly as possible. When it gets down to the last two, they know the pain is coming. The solver can't help them, and the poker hospital goes on red alert for a new admission. Tito opens to 300 with king 7 suited. Matt calls with 7-3 off, which, by the way, is not the bounty hand in this game. Johan 3-bets to $2,400 with king 10 off. Tito folds, and Matt calls. I'm not sure, but it's possible that Armenian Matt has never lost a nit game, and he's not going to go down without a fight. Pot is $5,600, flop is Jack 5-3 rainbow, so Matt flopped the world with bottom pair. These two players do some posturing to get the upper hand in this battle. Johan plays dead. Matt adjusts his baseball cap. Johan bets $1,900, about a third pot. Matt quickly calls. Pot is $9,400, and turn is a 9. Johan now has a gut shot with 2 overs, and he bets pot $9,000. Johan has left himself with $3,000 behind, so there's no hand that he's folding. So Matt goes all in, hoping he's ahead, and he is. Johan calls, and he does not hit the river. Matt wins a $33,000 pot, plus he wins the nit game, and Johan has to pay $300 to everyone. Welcome to LA, Joviral. In this hand, Pipi and Armenian Matt take it to the streets. Pipi straddles to 200, and 5 players limp. You love to see it. Pipi raises his straddle to $3,000 with queen 7 off. I mean, what else are you going to do with this premium holding? You can't let 5 players see the flop. You want to isolate. Well, Matt agrees, and he flats next to act with king 7 off. He seems to know that he and Pipi will get heads up. Who isolated who, though? Pot is $6,900, and the flop is ace 10-10 with 2 diamonds. Both players flop nothing, but this board heavily favors Pipi's squeezing range over Matt's limp calling range. Pipi bets $1,500, less than quarter pot. Matt thinks he is beating all Pipi's bluffs, though, so that's reason enough to call with king high. Pot is $9,900. Turn is a 5. Now, if Pipi checks, Matt can feel pretty good about his king high, or at least that if he hits a king, he might win. But Pipi bets $7,000, about 70% of the pot. Pipi is no quitter, which, by the way, will probably make it difficult to get him to check into the poker hospital later on down the line. Well, Matt is not a quitter either, and he calls. What's going on here? How does he know? Pot is now $24,000, and river is a 9. Pipi finally does give up on this river, perhaps assuming that Matt has a hand he will not fold to another barrel. I wonder, though, if this is the one hand Matt would have finally folded. I did ask Matt if he would have folded if Pipi had made that one last bet. And Matt said he didn't know, so I guess no one will ever know what would have happened. But in this case, Matt wins with king high, and he's pretty happy with himself. Now, Matt's saying here that it was Pipi's $3,000 squeeze pre-flop that made him sure that he had the best hand. What? In this final hand, it's Armenian Matt versus All-In Allen, aka LA versus Global Traveler. Matt opens to 300 with 8-3 off, and this time he has the bounty hand right. If he wins with this hand, everyone pays him $300. Allen 3-bets the king-queen off to $1,300. Then Matt 4-bets the 8-3 off to $3,000. And Allen calls with the king-queen. Pot is $6,200, and flop is ace-10-3. Now, even though Allen could have raised-called Matt with any suited ace and tons of small to medium pocket pairs, Matt just looks like he hit top set. He's betting his bottom pair for value, $2,100, which is 1/3 of the pot. And Allen folds his gut shot straight draw. Matt is happy.
Pay up, boys, he says.
Gut shot.
Huge flop, dude.
Huge flop.
And that's why you 4-bet with the 8-3 off, viewers. Don't just call with that premium holding. Like and subscribe. We have a lot more of these crazy LA hands to come.